And we are live. All right. It's the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host, Frank Monday. Blah, 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 blah. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. This transmission is broadcasting live from the Central Kingdom of the Celestial Dragon, Beijing, China. Coming at you like an intercontinental ballistic missile launched from a North Korean ghetto, streaking out across the Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Oceans, South China Sea, to wherever you may be this glorious Lovecraftian morning. We have got scattered thunder showers this morning, thunderstorms. I don't know how to read the news, man. You think I was trained in fucking reading the weather? No, it's humid, but it's still dry-ish. No, it's wet, it's moist, it's damp. It's not cold though, so that's good. Old body like mine, man. Half a century. Doesn't seem like a long time once you get here. You're like, time? What's that? I've never left the present. I've been here the whole time, trapped in this room with that with that queer grandfather clock shaped like a coffin with its 4 inexplicable hands ticking in opposite directions. Never left. Here I've sat by the fireside of my grandfather and my great-great-great-great-grandfather, listening to the tales of wisdom transmitted via the oral tradition from ancient times till now. And I wonder, day in and day out, as I polish the lamp, I wonder why the friction of frustration, annoyance, and suffering are necessary to expose truth. And we can use the analogy of self-same lamp that it's been unused for a while, right? It's been sitting overnight, so to speak, which may be eons. And you wake up, you gotta dust it off, and get a little spit shine on it. And so there are times when you doubt the method. Maybe not you, but I do. I doubt the method when I'm down on my hands and knees for the millionth time, cleaning up the same shit show mess that kids and women and old women left behind for the janitor, right? I'm sure most of the men out there have found yourself as janitor and custodian of your home. And I think, well, you know, there was a time when I was janitor and custodian of that home, and I would come home day in and day out to the loneliness of an empty dwelling, and it didn't bother me. I was engaged in the work. You know, I'd clean that floor, and it would stay clean for months at a time because I was the only one using it, and I'm very meticulous in my sanitary behaviors, in my environmental hygiene, so to speak. And I would write my poetry and long for the embrace of the coiling dragon, the snake of deception. And I wanted chillins running around, bok, 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 bok. And I knew they'd be messy, but for good God, I thought that they would learn to clean up after themselves a little too. So, like I said, Frank Monday is no stranger to working hard, to rolling up the sleeves, so to speak, and getting down to husking grain and preparing food, immersed in common labor. But you do get frustrated. Like, I only want to clean that floor once a week. And then throughout the week, I want motherfuckers to be a little more diligent in backing me up on that. And you know, there's an old pithy saying of wisdom in Chinese. They say, it is said, Ba Xian Guo Hai. So it's got deeper, profound analytical meanings and so on and so forth. But at the surface level, it's the 80 mortals cross the sea. Ba Xian Guo Hai. So Ba is 8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Xian is immortal like myself. So the permanent versus the transient is what this Live Drive Jive Archive. I remind you that this is the Live Drive Jive Archive with your host Frank Monday, and we're going deep into idiomatic Chinese speech, or what are known as maxims, axioms, proverbs, sayings, and so on and so forth. And the one we're looking at this morning on, what is today, the 24th? It is the 24th of December 2021, and we're going deep on the 80 mortals cross the ocean. So this expression at a surface level is just a piece of a snippet of literature taken from Tang Dynasty poetry. Ba Xian, 80 mortals, Guo Hai, cross the ocean. Now the story is legendary, and it's about the 80 immortals crossing the sea, but the way in which they do it is important. The de facto leader, Lu Dongbing, there were 8 of them. 7 men and 1 woman. Now, we'll not get into the deeper esoteric meanings of it just yet, but let's keep it on a surface level. So they're headed to the mother of heaven, the western mother of heaven. Sorry, the queen of the starry sea in the western heaven. They're headed to her party. She throws a party once every 100,000 years. And when these immortal peaches ripen, and they're all going over there to get a bite of the immortal peach, because one bite of the immortal peach adds an extra 40, 50,000 years to your life, to your shin, to your spirit body, without the need to reincarnate. I must have missed the fucking party, because here I am again, once again in the material realm. Whew. But who knows? This is transient, and so we're going deep for the permanent. Permanent versus the transient. So that which is deeply rooted is not easily removed. There you go. So this old pithy saying is 1,000 years old in the Chinese tradition. 800 to 1,000. Come on, you know, give or take a couple of hundred. We're not splitting hairs here. But the 80 mortals Guo Hai go across the sea. Ba Xian Guo Hai, Ge Xian Xian Tong. So every immortal has his own unique ability. Each of the 80 mortals has their own unique magical weapon, a magic wand, so to speak. Lu Dongbing, my favorite, my patron saint, Master Lu, Ancestor Lu, Lu Zu, right? He's a good guy, fucking handsome devil, running around with his sword, spirit sword, chasing away demons, poking people in the ass. Master Lu is the leader, so he goes first. He's always super brave. He's like, ain't shit, let's get across it. So the floods are, the waters are inundating the land, and there's a flood. It's called the sea, but it's flooding their way. They have to cross this flooded terrain. And so he takes out his sword and says the Chinese magic word, abracadabra, right? I create as I speak, and throws his sword out, and it turns into a big surfboard. and he jumps on the surfboard, shoots across the water to the other side, right? They just need to get across this, I don't know, we'll say it's a couple of miles wide. They're not that specific in the story, but it's a big body of water, big enough to be called a sea. So as he jumps in the water on his hoverboard, surfboard, whatever, and he's shooting out across the waves, I guess with that said, my brother's more of a Ludong Bing than me, man. He'd fucking get in the big old waves. I was scared of that shit, man. I wasn't a big wave rider. I got out in it a few times though, and got pounded in the washing machine. Anyway, the other guys, they all have their own magical weapon. One's got a fan, one's got a flower basket, one's got a donkey, a paper donkey, a donkey made out of paper, that when he says abracadabra, presto, manifesto, it, did I miss my fucking exit? No, it's coming up. Turns into a donkey, and he can put it in his pocket. Good stuff, man. Point being, the moral of the story is this, that each immortal has his own unique talent for getting across the ocean, and as a result, each should use their talent. Well, how does the story relate to what I was just talking about? Permanent versus the transient. Basian Guahai. How did I get off on this? This was not planned. Frustration, annoyance, suffering gives birth to truth. Clean the house. Oh, because they don't clean up after themselves. Good God in heaven. But they do other things. Like my wife, she does the grocery shopping. She organizes all of the... She's a prepper. Well, she's a shopper, right? But she's a prepper, man. She doesn't buy 1 case of water. She buys 10 cases of water. And then I come home, I got to organize them. She doesn't buy 100-pound bag of rice. She buys 500-pound bags of the best rice, right? I got to come in, I got to organize them. She does do some of the organizing, though, on the rice and shit. Point being, she gets the storage, and what else does she do? She washes clothes. I don't gotta fuck with the clothes. She washes the clothes. The mother-in-law comes over a couple of times a week and hangs the clothes and folds them and shit and puts them away. But they all eat, shower, clip their nails, and do all of these janitorial hygiene things and don't pick up after themselves. But what are you gonna do? So I come home, sweep the floor, mop the floor. No big fucking deal. But, so my point being, like the tattooed monkey was saying this morning, you gotta do all this work by yourself. Yeah, but there's a lot less of it. Believe me, monkey. I know you're alone out there and you probably don't watch my videos, but let me tell you, dear sir, there is a lot of virtue, like Nikola Tesla said, in being a solitary practitioner. When you become a family man, you're gonna still do all that same fucking work. Ni hao. 好，谢谢。You are... That dude kind of looked like me. Thin, good-looking dude. Didn't have a bad attitude. If I was 10 cents short, though, motherfucker would have been on top of me. He'd be like, sorry, motherfucker. Now, each individual is unique. The AI system is not unique. Its algorithm is set. The Google Jigsaw algobots chopping motherfuckers up. Chop, chop, chop. Take that, motherfucker. Did you get your Fauci vax? Bam! You're out of here. If you didn't get the jibber jab, if you're not a jabberwocky, then you are cut short. They're out there paying motherfuckers. Be like, I took the jibber jab. I got the cock ring on my profile pic. Yo, what up, baby? COVID-19 approved. Stupid fucking happy horse shit. Anyway, point being, the suffering, the annoyance, the frustration, those are all the sparks and friction which highlight the truth, which highlight one's great work along the path of refinement. The refining process, the 4, 5 elements if you like, the undying, I was reading recently the Book of Changes, the I Ching. It's a book of divination. The Book of Changes and the unchanging truth. The truth, the pattern, the process is unchanging. But all of the other shit around it, the body, the cars, the clothes, right? The work, those transient things, like, God damn, I gotta clean this floor again, right? You know, I just cleaned it yesterday and now it looks like a bunch of pigs came in here and had a dinner party. Which is the truth. My daughter is born in the year of the pig, and my wife's mother is born in the year of the pig. And so they're a couple of pigs, and it shows. I mean, they are piggy wiggy wiggy. Piggy wiggy wiggy. What the fuck, bro? Oh. I had a heavy lifting truck crane pull in and block the entire road. He didn't know how to make that turn very good, man. He took up I know he could have gone left a little bit and cut his right a little harder, but you can't give the dude a hard time. He's operating a fucking who knows how many ton vehicle. Let me estimate. It looked like a 10-ton vehicle is what it looked like. He better not be driving across any Oregonian handmade dovetail wood bridges anytime soon, because that motherfucker was heavy. Anyway, point being, I wake up, I get a little frustrated because I got all my P's and Q's knocked out. I cross all my T's and dot all my I's. I line up my work in advance, right? I prepare for tomorrow's work today. I prepare for next year's work today, you know? I try to stay ahead of the game, but you can't blame little kids, and I never do. One thing that rattled my fucking cage when my wife's parents interacted with our children, which is fine and dandy. I mean, the Chinese, they say it takes an entire family to raise a kid. So the grandparents, that's what they, they fucking wait on that shit. That's what they feel like that's their destiny in life, is to help raise the kids, or at least so-called help raise the kids, which entails oftentimes picking them up from school so that the parents can, work, but then, reading them kids stories and stuff. But a lot of berating too. I noticed that they think it's funny to say, "Oh, aren't you a dummy?" People do that. That's not Chinese isolated. That's worldwide. Like, "Oh, that was a dumb fucking move," But I remember when they were little bitty, pristine in their godhood. Little kids, especially when they're your own little kids, but any little kid, they have this aura of divinity and naivety and true heaven-sent inspiration. And so I'll give you this one last example before I finish and knock out a COVID killer, because you got to stay on top of that fucking Coovies, man. That goddamn invisible boogeyman is gonna get you, because y'all so crazy, and all your madness is driving me insane. I'm trying to work that out. I'm trying to work out the chorus to my latest #1 hit. Act like a monkey and shake your ass. Say, fuck you. You got a 2-ton truck, bro? You can't speed up as fast as me. He's acting like I'm I'm stepping on his lane like he could do something about it. Fucking cockbag. Anyway, yeah, so the mother-in-law would come over when like Amber was like 3, 4, 5 years old. Dre was just little bitty, still in the crib most of the time. And then she would set her drink on the edge of the baby table, right at the corner of the baby table. And then Amber, you know, or any other of the little babies will walk by and knock it off the table. And she'd be like, "Ah, look, you stupid kid." Or, you know, baby. It was loving, you know. It's just the stupidity of some people. I mean, a fool at 40 is a fool indeed, and this woman is a fool. She has her own kind of intrinsic wisdom on some levels. Like I said, to each his own, everybody has their own talent. But that sort of unintelligible, stupid rhetoric against a child really, really grieved me. But anyway, she'd say, "Ah, the stupid baby, you knocked the cup off the table." And it's like, no, look at the situation. You are supposedly an adult, you know, you're a grandma, and like in your 60s, at the time she was only late 60s, pushing 70 or whatever, you know, maybe now she's late 70s. Yeah, but you're supposed to have coalesced wisdom, and there's a little kid running around and you're setting things on the edge of the table. So whose fault is that? The kid is a kid. It's growing. You're supposed to understand how kids grow, and that they're just going to be throwing their arms all over the place and grabbing the edge of the table and trying to lick the table and trying to knock off. Like, it's like having a goddamn cat in the house. You know what I'm saying? What kind of stupid motherfucker puts things where a cat's going to knock them over? Fucking do that and then blame the cat, right? Blame the kid. Come on, people. Try to use a little bit of common sense. But, you know, like Frank Bunday's #1 hit from the 90s, "What's so common about common sense," right? I wrote that when I was in high school, looking out and seeing all these stupid fucking people, assholes and idiots, AI, doing their happy horse shit. I figured that shit out early on. All right, time for a COVID killer, y'all good looking, sexy people. Look at the clock. The clock's gone 23 minutes. Good God in heaven. That's too much talking for one day. And I got a whole fucking gambit of classes in front of me today. Today's Friday, yeah. 4 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. Good God in heaven. Let's hope I survive it. I love y'all good looking, sexy people out in Happy Land. Let us pray. Lord of the universe, protect and guide us. Horned ones, woof, woof, woof. Get out there and blow your fucking horn. And I'll see you in the abodes of the future. For y'all.